Aries.net has a new version of the Gradebook available for the 2014-15 school year that is built around HTML5 instead of Silverlight. The Gradebook has been given a fresh, streamlined look that looks great on an iPad. The Silverlight Gradebook is still available in the system, but can be disabled on a school-by-school basis using a new option on the Portal Options page. Although the HTML Gradebook has undergone a facelift, many of the screens have kept the same overall function that they had in the Silverlight Gradebook. This video is intended as a reference guide for teachers that are familiar with the Silverlight Gradebook so they can quickly find the same screens in the HTML Gradebook. Complete documentation for the HTML Gradebook can be found in the HTML Gradebook document available on our website at http://www.aries.com/training-support/downloads. The HTML Gradebook requires an HTML5 compatible browser. These browsers include Chrome version 35 or higher, Firefox version 30 or higher, Internet Explorer version 11 or higher, and Safari version 7 or higher. It is currently compatible on the iPad, with a wider compatibility of other tablets coming in the future. Teachers can find the HTML Gradebook in the navigation tree in the Gradebook New node. The Silverlight Gradebook will remain in the Gradebook node. If the portal option to hide the Silverlight Gradebook is enabled, then only the Gradebook node will be available and it will direct the teacher to the HTML Gradebook. Eventually, only the HTML Gradebook will be available and it will be accessible through this Gradebook node. Please keep in mind that the Silverlight and the HTML Gradebook are compatible, so there will not be any data loss when the Gradebook node is redirected to the HTML Gradebook. Clicking on the Gradebook New node will bring the teacher to the Gradebook dashboard. This dashboard is now the home page of the HTML Gradebook. Teachers can select from 3 different views: Tiles, List, or Table. The system will remember the last view that the teacher selected and open up to that view the next time the teacher opens up the Gradebook. The Tiles view lists all of the Gradebooks that have been created, with the current Gradebooks first. The period, Gradebook name, and color-coded term are displayed on each tile. Clicking on the details opens up a window with links to the Edit Scores screens, a link to add either a category or an assignment, or to manage a gradebook. The List view displays the same information in a list format. Current gradebooks are listed first, and expired gradebooks displayed towards the bottom. This view also has a details link for each gradebook. The Table view provides one-click access to the Edit Scores by Screens, Manage Gradebook, and Add Category or Assignment. The buttons at the top of the screen provide quick one-click access to creating one or many gradebooks, linking gradebooks, or copying gradebooks. In the Silverlight Gradebook, these functions were found in the Add Edit window. The Add Gradebook, Mass Add Gradebook, Link Gradebooks, and in the Silverlight Gradebook, the Copy Gradebook was available after selecting the Create New Gradebook icon. When students enroll or withdraw from a class, the red Add Drop Students button will display on the Gradebook dashboard and on the Manage Students screen inside Manage Gradebooks. This button is used to notify teachers that students have entered or left their class. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the Add Dropped Students button only appears on the Scores by Class, Assignment, and Student screens. The Tiles view and the List view Each have a details link that contains links for the teachers to add or edit scores, add an assignment, or manage a gradebook. The table view allows a one-click access to these functions. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the Scores by Class page is the default page when a teacher enters the gradebook. The Manage Gradebook is found in the Edit Gradebooks Add Edit window, and the Add Assignment can be selected from the Add Assignment icon, in the Scores by Pages, or in the Edit Gradebooks Add Edit window. The navigation tree has been reduced to a small icon at the top left of the screen when teachers are in the HTML gradebook. This was done to maximize the space available on the various gradebook screens. To exit the HTML gradebook and go to a different screen, click on the icon to display the available screens and select the screen to go to. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the navigation tree remains on the left of the screen at all times. A single gradebook can be added by clicking on the Add Gradebook button on the Gradebook dashboard page, or from the Add Gradebook button inside the Manage Gradebook screen. The Add Gradebook screen provides an easy interface to quickly create a new gradebook. In Silverlight, the Add Gradebook screen was inside the Add Edit window. Many gradebooks can be created at once using the Mass Add Gradebooks button on the HTML Gradebook dashboard. Clicking the mouse on the Mass Add Gradebooks button opens up the Mass Add Gradebooks screen. Select the sections that you would like to create gradebooks for by clicking on the Select button. To deselect a section, click on the Remove button. In the next screen, select the term that the gradebooks will be and click on the Create Gradebooks button. In Silverlight, the Mass Add Gradebooks is in the Edit Gradebooks Add Edit screen. Notice in the Silverlight version you do not have the option of selecting different terms. Gradebooks are linked in the HTML gradebook in the same manner as in the Silverlight gradebook. The gradebooks that are linked are given the same group number. In the HTML gradebook, the Link Gradebooks button can be found on the dashboard and also towards the top of the Manage Gradebook screen. In Silverlight, the Link Gradebooks is in the Edit Gradebooks Add Edit screen. In the HTML gradebook, the Copy Gradebook button is available directly from the dashboard. The screen has been streamlined for quicker selection. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the Copy Gradebook configuration icon is available after selecting the Create New Gradebook in the Edit Gradebook Add Edit screen. Clicking on the Manage Gradebook link brings up the Manage Gradebook screen. The blue bar towards the top of the screen allows quick navigation to the Manage Gradebook screen for different gradebooks. It has an Add Gradebook link, quick links to the dashboard, scores by class, assignment, and scores by students, and also a quick link to reports. The currently selected gradebook is listed in the blue bar and on the configuration line. An Add Gradebook button and a Link Gradebooks button are also on the configuration line for quick access to these functions. Various tabs appear under the configuration line. These are the same functions that are in the Edit Gradebook Add Edit window in the Silverlight Gradebook. The Edit Gradebook tab in the HTML Gradebook is the same as the Gradebook tab in the Silverlight Gradebook. Categories has its own tab in the HTML Gradebook, whereas in the Silverlight Gradebook they were found under the Gradebook node. Edit Assignments has its own tab in the HTML Gradebook. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the assignments could be found by opening up the categories and selecting the assignment. The Manage Students, Final Marks, Narrative Grades, Options, Rules, Backups, and Restore each have their own tabs in the HTML Gradebook, as well as in the Silverlight Gradebook. The Categories screen is virtually the same in the HTML Gradebook as in the Silverlight Gradebook. Weighted scoring can be turned on or off, and when on, a percentage can be given to each category. The percentage does need to add up to 100%. In the Silverlight Gradebook, opening up the Gradebook node and clicking on the category allows you to turn on or off weighted scoring and to enter the percentages. The Assignments tab has buttons to add an assignment, push an assignment to other gradebooks, or import an assignment into this gradebook. Links to edit the assignment or to navigate to the Scores by Assignment page, which is the Enters Marks, are to the left of each assignment name. In the HTML Gradebook, the assignments are listed in decreasing order by due date. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the assignments are organized by category first, and then by assignment number. The Add Assignment and Edit Assignment screens in the HTML Gradebook provide a cleaner, less cluttered interface than the Silverlight screen. If the portal option to allow standards-based grading is turned on, the standards area will be available in the Edit Assignment screen. When adding a standard, you will have the option to search for a standard by keyword or drill down to the standard. The Silverlight Gradebook has all of the same options, just laid out slightly differently. The Manage Students screen in the HTML Gradebook has the drop, transfer, and delete options that are available in the Silverlight Gradebook. In addition, the HTML Gradebook Manage Students screen also will display a button to add or drop students when a student enters or leaves your class. The HTML Gradebook now uses the student's start and end dates in the gradebook as the primary determination of which assignments they are responsible for. We will go over this further in the Options section. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the Manage Students can be found on the Gradebook node Manage Students tab. The Final Marks screen is virtually the same in the HTML Gradebook as in the Silverlight Gradebook. There's an option to restore school recommended defaults and an option to include the overall mark with the score. In the Silverlight Gradebook, Final Marks can be found off of the Gradebook node Final Marks tab, with the option to restore school recommended defaults and show overall mark with score. The narrative grade screen in the HTML Gradebook only contains the percent of max score. The low and high percent fields have been removed. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the narrative grades screen shows the percent of max score, low percent, and high percent. The options screen in the HTML Gradebook has been updated with descriptions for each option. The Filter Assignments By now has two options available: Filter by Due Date or Filter by Assignment Number. When choosing assignment number, the following two options, Calculate Total Grade and Display Assignments, will have assignment number options. When choosing due date, the Calculate Total Grade and Display Assignments will have date range options. Gradebooks that are created in the HTML Gradebook will have two options that will be turned on by default. The first is the Apply Assignment Scores Immediately will be on by default, and the Filter Assignments By will default to due date. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the Options tab does not have all the descriptions available in the HTML Gradebook, and the range of assignments to display and to count in total grade are limited by assignment number range only. One or more gradebooks can be backed up in the HTML Gradebook. By default, all gradebooks are selected to be backed up. To deselect all gradebooks, click on the checkbox in the header. To select individual gradebooks, click on the checkbox next to those gradebook names. To back up the gradebooks, click on the Backup Gradebooks. In the HTML Gradebook, when the backup has completed, the last backup column is updated with the date and time of the most recent backup. In the Silverlight version, click on the Backups tab and either select all gradebooks or use the mouse and the Control key to select several gradebooks to back up. The Silverlight Gradebook does not display the time of the last backup. The restore process is still a three-step process in the HTML Gradebook, just as it is in the Silverlight Gradebook. The next buttons will guide the user to the next screen in the restore process. In the Silverlight version, the restore process is very much the same. The Edit Scores by Class, Assignment, or Student screens are available in either the Dashboard or the Manage Gradebook screens. In the Tiles view and List view of the dashboard, links to these functions are found when clicking on the details for that gradebook. The Scores by Class, Scores by Assignment, and Scores by Student screens can also be accessed from the blue navigation bar at the top of the Manage Gradebook screen and on the Scores By screens. When using the blue navigation bar, the Scores by Assignment and Scores by Students links will display a list of assignments or students to choose from. The list of assignments is ordered by category and then descending due date. The list of students is ordered by student name, with the active students listed first, and the inactive students towards the bottom. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the Windows icon contains the links to the Scores By screens. Alternatively, the Assignments and Students tab on the left can be used to navigate to the Scores By Assignment or Scores by Student screens. The assignments are listed in assignment number order in the Silverlight Gradebook. The Scores by Class page in the HTML Gradebook functions like the Silverlight Gradebook in many ways. Numeric scores, as well as NA and TX, can be entered in the score fields. The Enter keys and the Tab key can be used to quickly navigate through the screen. The assignment options of Grading Completed, Visible to Parents, and Score Visible to Parents can be set on this screen. There is a legend at the bottom of the screen which explains the color coding. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the Scores by Class screen is the default screen. Some of the differences between the two versions are that the HTML Gradebook changes the header of a completed assignment from a dark gray to a blue and also displays a check mark. The Silverlight Gradebook only changed the color of the header. To facilitate use on a tablet, a drop-down was added in front of the assignment name. Clicking on the drop-down opens up a window to modify a few of the assignment options, edit the assignment, or navigate to the Scores by Assignments page. In the Silverlight version, rather than a drop-down, it was a right-click. In the HTML Gradebook, the attendance hint has been changed to a blue square. Hovering over the square with the mouse will display the attendance code for either the date assigned or date due. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the attendance tip is a red triangle. In the HTML Gradebook, by default, a student is responsible for an assignment if the assignment due date falls within the student's Gradebook start date and Gradebook end date. If the student is not enrolled in the Gradebook when the assignment is due, then the score field is gray, and the words Not Applicable display in white. In the Silverlight Gradebook, the student's low assignment and high assignment numbers in the Manage Students screen determine if they are responsible for an assignment. These values need to be maintained by the teacher. When an assignment is outside of the low assignment and high assignment range, the score field is pink. In the HTML Gradebook, hovering over a student's name will bring up a link. Clicking on the link will open up the Scores by Student page for that student. In the Silverlight Gradebook, right-clicking on the student's name brought up an option to navigate to the Scores by Students page. The HTML Scores by Assignments screen is very much like the Silverlight Gradebook Scores by Assignment. The major difference on this page is that most of the Gradebook options that are anchored to the top and bottom of the Silverlight Scores by Assignment page are now hidden under a drop-down. This was done to make the Scores by Assignment page more tablet-friendly. In the Silverlight Gradebook, on the Scores by Assignments page, these options are anchored to the top and the bottom of the screen. Clicking on the arrow again will close the options and leave more room to enter student scores. Just as in the Scores by Class page, hovering over a student's name will bring up a link to the Scores by Students page. The HTML Gradebook Scores by Students page is in many respects just like the Silverlight Gradebook Scores by Students page. Just as in the Scores by Assignments page, clicking on the down arrow will display the additional information that is at the bottom of the Silverlight Gradebook Scores by Students page. In the HTML Gradebook, the assignments are listed in descending order by due date. In the Silverlight Gradebook, under the Scores by Students screen, the assignments are listed in assignment number order. Also in the Silverlight Gradebook, the student's overall performance is anchored to the bottom of the screen. In the HTML Gradebook, clicking on the arrow once again will close up the overall performance screen and leave more room for entering grades. Hovering over the assignment name will bring up a link to navigate to the Scores by Assignment page. This concludes the Transitioning to the HTML Gradebook video. Complete documentation for the HTML Gradebook can be found in the HTML Gradebook PDF available on our website. The Manage Students screen allows the teacher to manage the enrollment of their students in their gradebooks, manage the assignments that the students are responsible for, transfer gradebook scores for students that move from one linked gradebook to another, and update the sort order of the students in the gradebook. This screen can be found in the Manage Gradebook screen.
Go do my press
From
the
the
flesh
dashboard,
in the afternoon.
What's that mean?
Doing that one-on-one.
Click on the Manage Gradebook link,
Press the flesh, shaking hands, just kind of like interacting.
and then click on the Manage Students tab. A message displays at the top of the Manage Students screen explaining that the start and end dates of students' enrollment in the gradebook determine what assignments the students are responsible for. We will go into this in greater detail later in this video.
I'll go home from there.
If there are any students that are pending to be added or dropped from a gradebook, then there will be a red message with the Add Students or Drop Students links. Clicking on either of these links brings up the same Enters Leaves window that opens up when clicking on the Add Drop Students button on the dashboard. The only difference with the Manage Students links is that clicking on the Add Students button will select the All Entering Students link, and clicking on the Drop Students button will select the All Leaving Students link. If one of these links lists multiple gradebooks, I can click on the individual gradebook to view and update only those students. The prompts to add or exit students from the gradebook in the Enters Leaves window are created as the school office enrolls or unenrolls students from the classes. In this example, we have 4 students enrolling into 3 different gradebooks several weeks after school has started. Notice also that the student entering the 4th period English class is actually transferring from this teacher's 3rd period class to the 4th period class. Before adding or dropping students from the gradebook, review their start and end dates. These dates will determine which assignments the students are responsible for. The system will count assignments with due dates that fall within the student's start and end dates in the student's overall scores. Adjust the dates if necessary before adding or dropping the student. In this example, for the students entering the classes, perhaps the assignment that was due on 9/11/2014 was the culmination of a chapter, and these students will not be responsible to make up that work. So I will adjust their start date in the gradebook to 9/12/2014, either by typing the new date in the field
You coming home? So you want to do lunch?
or by using the date picker.
Waiting. Typing.
At this point, I can either add all of the students in at once using the Add All Students
I brought
button,
lunch, but I'll gladly.
or I can use the Action drop-down to select either Add or Do Not Add for each student and then click on the Save Changes. For the students that are dropping the class or transferring from one period to another, once again, review the start and end dates to make sure they reflect the assignments that the students are responsible for. Then in the Action column, select either Drop or Keep. Once the selections have been made, click on Save Changes. Switching over to the Scores by Class screen, notice that Amy has Not Applicable indicated on all assignments prior to 9/12/2014, so the first assignment she is responsible for is the Chapter 2 worksheet, and Allison as not applicable for assignments after 9/11/2014, which is the last day she was enrolled in this third period class. Once all of the pending enters and leaves have been addressed, the red prompt indicating that there are students that must be added or dropped from your gradebooks disappears from the screen. One of the students in the previous example, Allison, transferred from the third period English 9 class to the fourth period English 9 class. These gradebooks are linked, and the students in these classes are receiving identical assignments. I could transfer all of Allison's third period assignment grades to the fourth period gradebook. To do this, I will select Transfer in the Action drop-down. In the fourth period gradebook, which is the class that she just moved into. A student transfer screen will come up listing the linked gradebook that the student was in. Select the old gradebook under the Select Gradebook to Pull From list, then click on the Transfer button. Select OK in the confirmation screen to begin the transfer. Another message will come up when complete. Be very careful when transferring a student's assignment scores from one linked gradebook to another. You need to be in the new gradebook and pull the scores from the old gradebook. Going to the Scores by Student screen, we can see that Allison's scores in her old third period gradebook have been transferred to her new fourth period gradebook. I'm going to switch to an elementary gradebook to demonstrate another way that students may be entered into a gradebook. Teachers can import any student into their gradebook if the system administrator has set up this option for the school in Portal Options. If this option is available, you will see an Add Students Not in Your Classes button towards the top of the Manage Students screen. Typically, this option is used in an elementary school where some teachers are instructing students that are not in their class. For example, perhaps the fourth grade teachers in Golden Eagle Elementary each teach a subject to all of the fourth grade students in the school, not just their homeroom students. Perhaps I teach art to the entire fourth grade class, another teacher teaches science, and a third teaches PE to all of the students. I'm going to add an art gradebook to demonstrate this option. Now click on Manage Students and the Add Students Not in Your Classes button to add students to this gradebook that are not in my homeroom class. In the Add Students window, I have the option to search for a student by name by selecting Search by Student, typing in the student's name in the search box, and clicking on the search icon. Or I can search by class by clicking on the Search by Class option, selecting the class, and clicking on the search icon. Notice that only students within my specified grade range will appear in the list. This specified grade range is set on the low and high grade values in the Teachers form in Aries. Select the students that will be added into the gradebook by clicking in the checkbox next to their name. To deselect a student, click in their checkbox again, and the check will go away. To clear all selections without saving, click on the Clear button. When all of the students have been selected, click on the Add Students button, and those students will be added to the gradebook. Click on the Close button to exit this form. By default, the start date for the students will be the current date. Adjust this date if necessary. I am going to go back to the Secondary English Gradebook to continue our review of the Manage Students screen. The Manage Students screen lists all of the students in the selected gradebook. Use the scroll bar to the right of the screen to scroll through the list of students. The status column indicates if a student is active, dropped, or not added. There are two places to drop a student. The first area can be found either on the dashboard or on the Manage Students screen in the Enters Leaves window. The second area is within the body of the Manage Students screen. To drop a student, update the drop date to make sure that the student's assignments that are due after the student left do not count against the student's total score in the gradebook. Let's say that Malia was in the gradebook long enough to be responsible for the first assignment, which has a due date of 8/19/2014. Currently on the Scores by Class page, she has many missing assignments and her overall grade is an F. I'm going to make her drop date 8/20/2014 in the Manage Students screen. And then in the Action column, I'm going to select Drop. Now, on the Scores by Class page, the assignments that were due after 8/20/2014 indicate that they are not applicable for Malia, and her overall grade in the gradebook has improved. Once the student is dropped, his or her record goes down to the bottom of the list and is highlighted in yellow. Also notice that dropped students have the ability to be re-added into the gradebook. So if I accidentally dropped Meredith, I can add her in again by selecting Add in the drop-down. You also have the ability to delete a student from the gradebook. The difference between deleting a student and dropping a student is that when a student is deleted, all of their scores are also deleted. It is as if they were never in the gradebook. When a student is dropped, their scores remain in the gradebook. Deleting a student from the gradebook is permanent and not recoverable, so do this with caution. To delete a student, you will need to select the Allow Deletes checkbox at the top of the screen. Then the option to delete will become available in the Action drop-down. The Manage Students screen has a Sort column, which affects how students are listed in the Scores by Class and Scores by Assignments pages. The default sort order is alphabetical by last name. A custom sort order can be assigned to the students by clicking in the Sort column and changing the sort number for the student. If I want Christina and Danielle to be at the bottom of the list, then I could change their sort numbers to 40 and 41. Now when I go to the Scores by Class page, notice that Christina and Danielle are at the top of the list of students, but when I select Sort by Student Custom Sort, Christina and Danielle go to the bottom of the list. In the Scores by Assignment screen, click on the down arrow to display more options and select the Sort Students by Custom Sort field instead of Name option to resort the students. After the Sort column, the Manage Students screen lists the student's permanent ID, name, gender, and grade. These fields are informational only and cannot be edited. However, every column heading on the Manage Students screen can be sorted. Hovering over the header reveals that the header is a link. Clicking on the header will sort the rows in either ascending or descending order. The start date and end date fields can be edited either by clicking in the field and entering a date or by using the date picker. These fields should be maintained to reflect when the student was enrolled in the gradebook and which assignments the student is responsible for, as I described earlier in this video. The Scores by Students screen provides a quick link to the Manage Students screen. In this example, Shannon was dropped from the gradebook on 8/28/2014, so Not Applicable appears on all assignments after 8/28, and I am not able to enter a grade for these assignments. The blue information bar at the top of the page contains a link to the Manage Students screen, where I can update Shannon's start and end dates if one of these dates is incorrect. Perhaps I had made an error when I dropped Shannon from the gradebook and she really was responsible for the assignment that was due on the 29th. I can update her end date in the gradebook and then go back to the Scores by Students screen to enter a grade for the assignment that is due on the 29th. As the school year progresses, the gradebook enrollment can be maintained using the Enters Leaves screen and the Manage Students screen. This concludes the Manage Students video. For more information on other aspects of the gradebook, please review our documentation or view the specific videos for each topic.